Hi, good afternoon. My name is Denise and I am the co-founder of Lean Lifestyle, and today I'm going to be sharing a presentation with you for recommendations for Lean Lifestyle's headquarters location. Alright, so real quick, this is just a cute short video. This is a capybara in the gym who is trying to follow his own plan versus the reality of it, of how difficult it can really be when you're trying to hold yourself accountable, and that's where we come in. Alright, so just a quick little description and history of Lean Lifestyle. We were founded in 2025 and our app is built on AI. So what we do is we use AI, artificial intelligence, to follow a meal plan, to personalize and customize meal plans, fitness plans, anything that's going to help you towards your fitness goals. We use AI to virtually assist you in the best ways that we can. So we offer a premium subscription that allows 24/7 live video chats. That really is just going to be, showing what you're eating, what you're following, if you're doing a movement correctly. We really want to be here to assist our customers in the best ways that we can, but really it's all through using artificial intelligence. Alright, so we're going to go over the rationale, why the headquarters, and importance of a right location is. So what this is going to represent, what this is going to do is be a direct representation of our brand. So we want to pick a location that is really going to focus on what we stand for, what we are. We've been extremely successful, and we do know that there are a few states out here that have a, high status, or they have a recognition for wellness and the fitness industry in these specific areas. So the main idea and organization of the ideas for this presentation, the presentation is going to compare Florida and California to determine the benefits of the winning state for Lean Lifestyle's headquarters. So we're going to follow 3 criteria, which is marketing and promotion, fitness participation, and demographics. We're going to go over the conclusions. The winning state did win 2 out of 3 of the criterion, and we're going to go over recommendations for the winning state for Lean Lifestyle's headquarters. Alright, so first and foremost, we're going to start with the marketing and promotion. We really wanted to focus on one area of marketing here, and that's going to be using social media. So what we did is we did a little bit of research of what state had the best type of population of influencers. So of course, the way that we're going to market and promote this is by using physical people, but people that have the most followers, the most follow count, and just a really big, people behind them that will follow what they do. So we saw that California leads in terms of population with about 39 million, and the number of Instagram users, which is 14 million. Okay, so we're really talking, a little bit less than half of California's population uses Instagram. So what that means for us is we really want to focus on the influencers that, live in a state where they do have a higher number of people on the platform. So another statistic here is, in order, the top 5 states for influencers are going to be California at number 1, New York, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. So California does have the higher influencer population, and what we really want to do is attract the attention to our app using the state that has the most influencers. Alright, so the next criterion that we're going to focus on is the fitness participation. So what we do here for Lean Lifestyle is we really want to focus on people that are capable of being physically active. Now, what I mean by that is we really want to focus on a state where there are physically active people in that state. So we wouldn't really want to lean towards a state that doesn't have that much of an active population, but this does have a lot to do with standards, right? So what is the standard in, a certain state where it's good to work out versus if it's not really something that's commonly done there. So we have California houses 11,000 fitness centers, and we have 27% of adults in Florida meet the CDC aerobic physical activity guidelines. So we can see here that California does have the higher number of active adults, and that was through our research. We see that California shows potential in ongoing and future participation as well. So this would be really, really important for us to decide on a state that has, just the higher levels of participation when it comes to fitness. All right, and then our third criterion here is going to be demographics. So what we did here is we really, because we're using artificial intelligence, we do want to focus on the age group that is over 18, just for legal and logistic reasons. So what we did was we did some research on the ages of 18 through 44 in California and Florida, and we saw that in California it was 24.2% of women that met the federal physical activity guidelines, while in Florida it was 27.9%. So we can see in Florida they did have the highest amount of women in that age group that were physically active. And this is going to be really important to us because, like I had mentioned before, we really want to focus on people that are active in a state where there are going to be the most active people in that state. So just based on that statistic that I just went over, this is figure 1 showing, that Florida does have the higher rate when it comes to demographics. Alright, so we made a couple conclusions here. Conclusion number 1 is going to be that California does have the higher opportunities for marketing because we are focusing on an influencer population. California would have Florida beat. Now, the conclusion number 2 is going to be because clean lifestyles focus on a younger population, Florida does hold a higher ranking for the young active woman in comparison to California. And our last conclusion is that California has the highest fitness participation in both men and women across the nation in comparison to Florida. Alright, so the recommendations for our headquarters, we do recommend that California be the best state to locate our headquarters, given that it beat 2 out of the 3 criteria in all the research that we did. So we see that it has 14 million Instagram users, we see that it has the highest number of active adults, and then we also see that they have a better outlook at expanding, and that really is just due to the fact that they have a bigger landmass area, so that it really is something that we look forward to in the future when it came to the fitness centers and just the amount of people that are going to be able to actually use the app. Alright, so we do have a couple concerns here, and I'm just going to go over a couple of them. So it is known that California is an expensive state to live in. So with this being said, we do hear a lot of concern about whether California is going to be just too expensive for us. But given our research and really given the data over the last year, we can see that California is going to be the best out of all of the states because it really is expensive anywhere you go. It just, at the end of the day, is going to be more based on the specific city that we want to place our headquarters in, but we do agree that California overall will be the best. It just kind of gets down to the nitty-gritty of where we're going to locate in California. And then there are multiple applications that already exist and they continue to evolve. So the question here is, do we think that they're going to start using AI? Now that might not be a problem, but because we're going to be the first people to really use it, I think that's going to put us on the map as the first fitness brand that uses AI trainers. Alright, and so as I had mentioned before with the marketing and promotion, we do have a plan for advertising. This is going to be primarily through social media, and for all of our premium subscription users, we will send a package in the mail with a shirt, a water bottle, and a sweat rag that has our logo on it. So a lot of our advertising is going to be through that, through social media, and then we also have a hashtag that we're going to use. It's going to be Lean Fit Life Only. That's just a hashtag that, hopefully will get us trending on Instagram or get us trending on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. So I really believe that this is going to be the best advertisement that we can use, and the results really will just speak for themselves. Alright, and then my last slide is just going to be my references, and then I have the area open up for questions. Alright, so one of the questions that we have here, thank you to Bob in the back. Bob wants to know if we are going to be able to fix the bugs that might be included in this app. So we do have a team that is going to be ready for when the app launches. With our new headquarters, we're going to launch a couple of updates with the app, so that way we have our information of our headquarters in there, and he wants to know if there are going to be any issues or bugs or how we're going to deal with it. But we do have a team that's already set up that's kind of going through the beta version of that change to our app. So we do look forward to fixing anything that might need to be fixed with our application, but we really want to focus on, once we get to that point, we'll address it then. But we do have a team that works really, really hard in trying to update everything in a really good, timely manner, but also very efficient. Okay, anybody else have any questions? No? Alright, well, thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed my presentation.